clarification purposes, I'm pretty sure you were at the Hamptons during the pursuit and the meetings with Kevin, right?
I was not.
Oh, you didn't make the trip.
No,
Okay.
Joe Lacob, our primary owner, Bob Myers, our general manager, and our four best salespeople, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green carried the ball for us.
Okay. Well, can you describe? Obviously, it worked out, and he's on the team. But what was like internally at your most real moment? Did you guys really think that you were going to get Kevin Durant?
Well, I think we had hope, but I think we, like every other team, probably didn't think it was going to happen. And I can assure you we had no indication it was going to happen until the phone rang at 7:30 in the morning in Bob Myers' cabin in Lake Tahoe when Kevin called to give us his decision, which was, I think there was a lot of screaming and yelling going on in the Myers cabin at that point in time.
It's just before we get into the next question, I got to congratulate you all because the last time we had you on, you were in New York for the Sports Business Sports Awards, and you guys won Sports Team of the Year, the Golden State Warriors, and Joe Lacob, who we were just mentioning, was the Sports Executive of the Year. So congratulations to you guys for getting that done. High recognition by your peers.
Fun to take home the hardware amongst your peers in the middle of the playoffs. It was a little stressful to be there because we actually had a playoff game that night, but it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I remember thinking about how you guys going to get back, and it was in Golden State. So I was like, how you guys going to get back and watch the game? But, to no consequence. As you guys look at the season upcoming, and the expectation is enormous right now, how do you manage that interiorly? You know what I mean? How do you keep guys from thinking ahead to what we always talk about as broadcasters? Oh, the Warriors are already in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, the last time I checked, our record is 0-0. So, that's a pretty good starting point. I do think the advantage we have going into the season is we've gone through two consecutive seasons by making it to the finals, winning once and losing once. We know what both feel like. And so the journey is going to be a familiar one for these guys. They know what the pressure is all about. Last year, 73 wins, the most wins in the history of the league. Actually, adding our playoff wins, it was the most wins for any NBA team over the course of the season ever in our history. So they feel the pressure every night. They've had a target on their backs all last season, and I think that I can't imagine guys being better prepared to go into what is going to be a year of, as you said, incredibly high expectations.
We're talking to Rick Welts, the COO of the Warriors. Rick, this is probably a better question for Coach Kerr. So while you're at it, by the way, just give him our number and tell Steve the Colts at some point.
Happy to.
Love to have him on the show. But I'm sure you have an opinion on this. Back in the day when Miami assembled their super team, it took a while to gain real, true familiarity and cohesion. I think they started 9-8, and there were some whispers, well, maybe this isn't the right combination. Of course, a couple of titles later, it wound up being fine. Is there anything that you think that the team can do to replicate game conditions to maybe circumvent some of those growing pains with the addition of Kevin Durant?
Well, I think we get a little jump on training camp because Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are going to join Kevin Durant for the summer and playing on the Olympic team, and I think that's actually going to be a huge advantage. And remember, the way this team was assembled was not a bunch of free agents coming together to decide to go to one team. This is our homegrown 3 All-Stars who were drafted by the Warriors, and adding a fourth All-Star to that, and Andre Iguodala in the mix as well. So these are guys who have had a lot of experience playing together already, but to make room under the cap for Kevin, obviously we had to really disassemble the team. So we're going to have a lot of fresh faces, and it is a great puzzle that Steve Kerr and his staff are going to have to figure out how to take advantage of the amazing talent on the roster, but also a lot of guys are going to be meeting each other for the first time.
Rick, you hit on something I find pretty interesting, and I didn't spend a lot of time in Northern California, but when I was there, Monte Ellis was still on the team. It was before he got Bogut. Curry had the ankle woes. It was very, very different. And, whether it's the commissioner or people who call us and tweet us, well, the superpower, the mega team, your point, it is pretty organic. I mean, you drafted Klay Thompson, you drafted Steph Curry, you drafted Draymond Green. You just augmented the roster with somebody who happens to be one of the 5 best players in the world. And I feel like it's almost unfair to you and the rest of the staff and really the team the way it's positioned because it's far more organic than Miami.
It really is. It's a completely different situation, and just such an extraordinarily unique set of circumstances. You know, if we don't come back down 1-3 to Kevin Durant's Oklahoma City Thunder, and if we don't lose a 3-1 lead to Cleveland in the finals, and if we don't have a year when the salary cap is going to rise significantly because of our new television contract, if all those things don't happen, you know, there's no chance that Kevin Durant plays on this team. So it is a lot of – we should get credit for some good drafting, I think, more than anything else.
Now, the way that the new contract, the new TV contract has worked for the NBA is there's an explosion of money. It could shorten a little bit quicker than some people, I think, predicted. What's the long-term prospect of Kevin Durant with the Warriors? Is it a 1, maybe even 2-year deal and he goes elsewhere, or is there a commitment to make this, you know, the rest of his career in Golden State?
Well, no, there's no commitment from Kevin. He signed a 1-year contract with a player option. So, you know, I think the hope and expectation is, you know, there's a business reason for doing that more than there is a basketball reason for doing that. And, you know, we've got to be a place that is as good as he thought it was when he selected the Warriors over the other options that he had. And, you know, I think we're going through a really interesting time in our league, right? We're all trying to figure out what the new world is going to look like. Adam Silver, the commissioner, has addressed that, you know, we are in the midst of trying to see with the players if we can create a new contract going forward. And I think, you know, this experience is certainly going to play into that. And he heard from the other owners in Las Vegas this week a lot of opinions on what we should and shouldn't do. And, you know, eventually that'll all get worked out at the bargaining table.
Rick, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't bring it up. And Draymond Green, I brought this up on the air the other day, and certainly not to excuse any sort of, you know, confrontation in it, whatever, however you want to position it. If you actually read the details, which of course you did, but I'm speaking to my audience, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, it really wasn't, in my opinion. Things happen. But it does paint a bigger picture maybe with Draymond in terms of decision-making, both on the court and off. He's got to mature a little bit. I mean, have you sat him down and tried to make sure that he stays going in the right direction? Any concerns?
Listen, he gets it. If you've spent any time around this young man, he is, when you're talking to him, when you're around him, he's a teddy bear, right? But he's also the heart of our team. He's also the guy who brings the passion and brings the voice in the locker room. So, you know, it's up to Draymond to create the right balance, and he understands it. He gets it. And, you know, I can't comment on that particular issue. It's ongoing, but we have every confidence that this guy is going to remain an all-star for a long time to come, and really, you know, is the centerpiece of what we're trying to accomplish for the Warriors.
I got you. Hey, by the way, I know that the bench was compromised to make room for Kevin. Me and Tiki will happily sign a couple of 10-day contracts, league minimum. We'll make a few bones, and we'll win a championship.
Yeah, we'll be good,
We'll
man.
come out and play for you.
You guys, Tiki, never been able to go to your left.
Yeah, never been on my left. I can't shoot from my right, but I can foul the heck out of people.
Nice.
Okay.
That's my football mentality.
Rick,
Okay.
good chat. Well, just don't wind up with Russell Westbrook on the roster because then we're going to really have a problem. We'll let this one slide, you know?
Take care, Rick. We appreciate
Congrats, man.
Thanks, guys.